Hi, it's Tom from Lone Horizons, and we're back with our peasants in Dungeon Crawl Classics, Dyson's Delve. So, last time we had defeated the goblins and got them on the run here in room 4. They were fleeing through room 5 to room 6, which is this room, where the hobgoblin boss is. It just says boss's room in the dungeon key, because they're gonna try and alert the boss to the fact that 2 of them have been killed, more than 2 now. So that's what happened last time. We are going to try and get rid of this one, Goblin 5. Before we do that, I just wanted to say I've got these really nice Blackwing matte pencils. I've got a whole box of them because my cousin, who's a concept artist, recommended them because they should have a sort of more matte look to them when you're seeing them under the light, which should help with readability on camera. Hopefully it makes things a bit easier for you to read, because I've just filled in this little sheet of stats with one of them now. So here are the 3 groups. We've now got Lessim's group, Gonithil's group, and Cater's group. We've got 9 peasants remaining. Hopefully a few of them will survive. I don't know what we'll do if they all die. I guess we'll roll up some more. But for now, we were still in the middle of the fight. We've got Gonithil's group has the initiative at the moment, or it's their turn anyway. But Gonithil's group is Gonithil, Groban, Waltin, and Duin. They are all... Well, basically, Ugmas isn't in this group, and Ugmas is the only one who can do a melee attack against Goblin 5. So that's not going to happen right now. What's next? There's Goblin 6 and Goblin 7. They can move 20 feet each, so they're going to carry on running. So, yeah, we'll just move them together. 1, 2, 1. Oh no, that would be 1, 2 there. And then we go back to Cater's group. So that's Cater and Orsiet. Orsiet has a sling. So if she could maneuver herself into position, she would be able to shoot at Goblin 5. But I don't think she can stand anywhere that would let her do it, unless 1, 2, 3. If we say she's allowed to swap places with Groban there and move him into this spot here, there, let's just house rule that we can do that, because these are 5 feet square. So, 2 people could stand in the same one, or one of them could step out the way. That means she can move and then attack. So that's 5, 10. See, the Goblin 5 is only 10 feet away. Okay, so yeah, Orsiet can attack him with the sling. Let's see, her attack bonus is 0, and because they're all still tired, because they haven't rested yet, her attack bonus is actually -1, and her damage will be 1d4 -2. Okay, wow. Alright, so let's just remind ourselves of the Goblin stats. Just got to find them in these index cards. I should have got this ready before starting, but it's fine. So the Goblin's armor class is 10. So she needs to roll an 11 to hit. Let's see. 11, exactly. And she rolled a 3 on the damage die. So that's 1d4 -1 damage, but it's actually -2. So she does 1 damage to that goblin. So that is Goblin 5. Here we go, hang on. Move some things around here. Goblin 5 has 4 hit points. So he's down to 3. So she shoots a bullet from the sling, and it hits the goblin in the head, whacking him quite hard. Just got to adjust her ammo count. on her sheet. So she now has 27 stones. Can't wait till we can start using the actual character sheets once they're level 1, and we'll have an A4 page for each one of them. It'll be much easier to write on and easier to read on camera. Okay, so he's wounded. That was Cater's group. So next it's Goblin 5's turn, so he can only move 20. He's actually standing next to Ugmus, because remember, Ugmus was actually alive at the end of last episode. We misinterpreted the rules, or I just forgot the rules about climbing over dead bodies, and so the hobgoblin couldn't actually kill him. So Ugmus gets a free attack against the goblin because he's fleeing, and he's standing right next to him. So let's see. Ugmus is the dwarven mushroom farmer with a shovel. His attack bonus is normally -1, but it's going to be -2, and his damage is normally 1d4 -1, but it's -2. Okay, so that means he will need to get a 12 on his attack die to hit the goblin. He's rolled a 10, so he's missed. He swings the shovel through the air, and it goes wildly far away from the goblin's head, unfortunately. So Goblin 5 can now move 20 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20. So he's already round the corner, meaning Heva can't shoot at him from where she is. That's his turn done. And then it's back to Gonathil's group. Okay, so they're all fleeing, running away. I think Gonathil, let's say it's Gonathil who says it, says to the others, look guys, we've got to go. We've got to get out of here. I've been stabbed. He's on 2 hit points down from 4. I've been stabbed by one of those bloody goblins. We've got stairs out to the ruins right near us. Let's just go out. Let's just go out and rest a bit, rest up, and then we'll come back in. And maybe there's a bit of discussion, like some of the others might say, look, we've got them on the run though. They're running around that corridor. We can just chase them down and kill them once and for all. And maybe Gonathil says, yeah, but we don't know how many are in the next room. They could be going for backup. They could come back with 10 more goblins. Maybe even more hobgoblins, and not runty ones like the one we just killed. Look, we've got to get out of here. We've got to just rest up for a minute. Just at least let me do something about this wound. And everyone's like, okay, right, we'll bring the animals, bring the sow, the sheep, and the it's Gonathil's falcon that he has. He's the elven falconer, Gonathil. So yeah, they're going to go northwest, which leads to this spiral staircase that leads out of the dungeon to the ruins, because if they just rest for 1 turn, which is 10 minutes, they will no longer be tired, so they won't get those attack and damage penalties, and they'll feel a lot better. So yeah, this combat is over, and they're going to go and rest. So we're going to cross off that turn, and they're now outside in the ruins, resting up a bit, just kind of doing whatever they can about their wounds, which is nothing, because they've got no healing potions, they've got no cleric with them. Resting for 10 minutes per hour doesn't heal you in this game or anything like that, but at least they can sort of collect themselves and figure out their next move. So Lessim's torch has gone out, so that means they need to light another torch once they go back into the dungeon anyway, which they are going to do. So I think they're going to have a discussion and decide that, yeah, they do want to go back in and hunt down those goblins, because that's what they came here to do. So they saw them going down this corridor. Cunain and I think Waij are the only ones to have been in that room there, so they've both been killed. So no one else knows what went on in there, didn't see the room at all. So they're just going to have to go in very carefully, as usual, and see what they find in room 5. So let's see. They're going to go back in. We said they can move 1 one location in the dungeon per turn. So if they go back in, first thing they need to do is light a new torch so that the humans can see, because they can't see in the dark. So let's see, Lessim was the one with the torch lit. So Lessim's torch has gone out now. Just rub that out. Lessim has a flint and steel, so he can light torches. Let's see, someone's got a candle there. Who has a torch? Groban has a torch. Okay, so we'll light Groban's torch then. So that torch there is Groban. And we're on this turn now. This is the second hour in the dungeon. We don't have to roll for wandering monsters. Oh, we actually did have to on that turn there. So I can't remember, you're supposed to do it at the start of the turn, but the turn was combat anyway, so I think I got distracted by that and didn't do it. So let's roll for wandering monsters anyway. On the wandering monster die. Nothing. Okay. So if they came back in, hang on, where's the other map? Here it is, this is bigger. If they came back in here, that means they are in room 4, and they can very slowly and carefully creep down this corridor to room 5. Room 5 was the guard room. So that means in this turn they are moving into room 5. Okay, so that is fine. Let's say, yeah, that uses up that turn. And now they're in room 5. Now we're back to rolling for wandering monsters again. I'm going to have to do that again. What is in room 5 though? Room 5 is the guard room, which had the 4 goblins and the runty hobgoblin no one liked. Each of them has 2d6 electrum pieces. That's really good. So yeah, I should have thought about that actually. We've got several dead bodies in both rooms. We've got some of the dead peasants and some dead goblins and the dead hobgoblin as well. So let's see, we could say they looted the bodies in there and they're looting the bodies in here in these 2 turns. The only other thing in this room is the door in the western wall. It doesn't give any description of this room at all. I might start rolling on random tables for room descriptions as we explore the dungeon sometime soon. That might be quite fun, just to give a bit more flavour and narrative to the game. So having a look here, each goblin and the hobgoblin had 2d6 electrum pieces in both rooms, room 4 and 5. So we killed 2 goblins in room 4, then we killed the hobgoblin from room 5, we killed another goblin from room 5, and the other goblins are still alive and have fled into the boss's room, which is room 6. So that is basically 4 rolls of 2d6 for electrum pieces. Okay, so I've got 3 rolls worth here, and then I'll do 2 more. Okay, so that will be all the electrum pieces that we get from those goblins and hobgoblin. So let's see, that's 6, 11, 15, 19, 20, 21, plus 2 more d6. 9. So 30 electrum pieces. That is a lot of money, actually. 30. And we've got 9 guys left who can take them. So let's see, how will we split that up? So that will be splitting it as evenly as possible. That will be 3 electrum pieces each, and then there's 3 spare electrum pieces to dish out to whoever wants them. So let's just go through that, adding that to their sheets. Okay, so that's the goblin's treasure taken care of, but we do have the dead peasants who died in combat here, who had some good stuff actually. For example, Cunain, the dwarf who was sadly killed, the dwarven herder. Let's see. She had a spear which does 1d8 damage, which is really good. She also had some other stuff. She's the one who brought the sow into the dungeon. So the sow is now without its mistress. And also Ugmus, who was the dwarven mushroom farmer. No, not Ugmus. He's still alive. There was the soldier who was called Earmulf, I think. Where is he? Oh no, I'm not thinking of him. He died earlier on, I think, and we took his spear. That's where the spear came from. So Wyge was the rutabaga farmer. He had a pitchfork, which is also a 1d8 weapon. So they should take those, shouldn't they? And who would benefit from a spear and a pitchfork? We've got a lot of people only have a 1d4 weapon, like a cudgel, shovel, and staff, and dagger. So why don't we give Gonithil, the elven falconer, the spear, because he's been doing a lot of fighting. I think he deserves it. So instead of the dagger, that rubs out the colour pencil as well. He now has a spear, and his damage will be 1d8. So he now does double the potential damage, which is good. And then the pitchfork, let's see who else has a smallish weapon. Kater has a dagger, Kater the fortune teller. We could give this pitchfork to her. Because the people with staffs, I think of that as a quarterstaff. I don't know if it is. I don't think it means like a wizard's staff, because it's not magic. Oop, just messed that up. Pitchfork is what I'm trying to write. So that is 1d8 instead of 1d4. That is a lot more survivability for her. I'll just update their sheets as well. Okay, so I'll just double check the dead bodies to make sure there wasn't anything else useful. Oh yeah, so Cunain had 2 rations and a flint and steel. She had 1 electrum piece as well. Okay, I'm going to distribute their stuff among the others, and I'm probably going to cut that from the video because it's not that interesting to watch. Before we continue, I just wanted to have a look at the rules for experience points and leveling up, because I did skim read them before, but I found out the section continues on to the next page and I didn't actually read it. Something that's a bit different to other OSR games is the fact that experience points are awarded in kind of a dynamic sliding scale. So here in the rulebook it says XP are always awarded by encounter, not creature or challenge. In general, most level appropriate encounters should be worth 2 XP, with the scale going from 0 to 4 as follows. 0, very easy encounter with little to no damage or resource loss for the adventurers. This is the kind of encounter that no longer challenges a group and clearly does not advance their skill level. 1 XP, an encounter with damage and resource expenditure but relatively easy nonetheless. The typical easy encounter falls into this bracket. 2 XP, a typical encounter. The characters incurred damage and were required to utilize resources to survive the encounter. No fatalities or significant losses. 3 XP, a difficult encounter even with good tactics. Significant damage and potentially permanent consequences, possibly even a fatality. And 4 XP, an extremely difficult encounter, one that the party barely survives. Multiple character fatalities, significant character damage, and potentially a retreat of some kind required. It also has a section on XP for non-combat activities. It says here, non-combat encounters may also be worth experience points. Disarming or setting off traps provides guidance to characters of what to do or what not to do in the future. Puzzles likewise build experience in navigating a dungeon. In broader terms, these criteria for earning XP can be interpreted as bypassing hazards, advancing past dangerous situations warrants the earning of XP. Thieves should receive XP for bypassing traps, typically 1 to 2 points depending on the nature of the trap, and puzzles should likewise be worth XP to all who participated in solving them. So I'm going to keep this in mind as we get further into the dungeon. Also, Dyson's Delve specifies the character level for each level of the dungeon, and the amount of treasure and monsters in it should result in the characters leveling up to that level as they go through finding the treasure and killing the monsters. So as I'm awarding XP for encounters and things in Dungeon Crawl Classics, I'm going to make sure that I give enough XP so that the characters can reach the required levels for each floor of the dungeon. So, since that encounter has ended, we're no longer in combat and we defeated the goblins, even though some of them survived, I am going to award the characters their XP now. I'm going to give them 3 each, because that was a pretty tough encounter there. So each of them currently has 2 XP, so they will go to 5, which means they're halfway to 10, which is what they need to reach level 1. So the peasants pick up the gear, equipment and coins left by the goblins and their dead friends and move into room 5, where there is a door in the western wall which, unknown to them, leads to room 6, where the hobgoblin boss and the surviving goblins are now holed up waiting for them to approach. So we are going to deal with that situation next time, because I've kind of run out of time for the session tonight. But it shouldn't be long until I'm recording the next episode anyway. So hope you enjoyed this one, even though it was quite short. Give us a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and you can always hit that bell icon as everyone keeps reminding you, so that you'll get a notification when the next video comes out. So I will see you next time.